Hello and welcome to my Thesis Academy. Today I would like to focus on a very important question for every student who is writing a thesis. The question of how to write a thesis statement, and not just how to write your thesis statement, but also how to write a strong and a good thesis statement. Let's find it out together. So, as you can see, our schedule for today contains some fundamental and formal questions like what is the thesis statement, what is the function and what is the right place, as well as what goes into it. Then we will have a look at the different types of thesis statements, and the most important part is how do you make your thesis statement strong? What are the attributes of an outstanding one? Let's start with the question, what is a thesis statement? Well, to explain it in a nutshell, imagine it as a very condensed summary of key points that contour your thesis. You can see it as as a short paragraph from 1 or 2 sentences that crystallizes and concentrates your main ideas, arguments, which shows the reader your point of view and addresses some questions on the topic. So important is, and what you should keep in mind, that the thesis statement is the point of reference that guides and frames the reader's expectation. Let's go ahead. What is the function and where is the right place for your thesis statement? So, as it is the central message of your work and as such stating the main idea, if possible in a very convincing way, you should put the thesis statement right in the beginning, so in the introducing part of your thesis. A little tip, the earlier the better, because you don't want to make the reader wait for a long time until you reveal your thesis statement. Then we want to find out what goes into it. The thesis statement consists of 3 principal sections. First, the opening, where you provide some general information on the subject and on the topic, such as the historical background or some recent research. You can also provide some interesting facts. And then you get over directly to the core and provide a brief overview that leads to your principal ideas, to the point of view, your point of view, and addresses some questions and claims to be solved. The final consists of concrete arguments where you come up with with supporting and convincing lines. Then I would like to share some information on the 3 types of thesis statements. First, you have the so-called explanatory thesis statement, which provides some information which consists of information and focuses on facts. Then you have the second type, which is the argumentative thesis statement. This is a very popular one because it provides some, or it's built up with some debatable aspect and content. And then last but not least, you have the analytical thesis statement, which provides an analytical perspective and also some evaluation. Now we will get over to the question of how do you start your thesis statement? How do you create the thesis statement? You can start by answering a simple question. So what? Or also, why does it matter? So you should know and you should find out which unexplored questions will your thesis clear, and the answer you will find in your thesis statement. So the first step that you should take is a brainstorming where you draft a pool of your principal ideas. Then you get over to a detection of the main idea. Here you may collect 3 to 5 points. 3 to 5 points is like a standard number that you want to make, like the arguments, and they will form the body paragraph. Then continue by crystallizing your point of view and find some arguments to defend it. And last but not least, state your opinion. Try to find out what is the best way to state your opinion and transform your conclusion of this opinion into a condensed sentence. You can also revise, so it's not necessary that the first draft is the last one. Now I would like to get over to some main attributes of a good thesis statement. So, first, keep in mind that a good thesis statement is specific and focused. It will serve as a central tool to clearly correspond and guide your analysis, your argumentation, and also your structure. If you create a thesis statement, it's helpful if you write it on a debatable aspect in content and express your individual opinion, because then you can defend this opinion. Then what is important is that you keep it directly related to the chapters, but also to the conclusion. Here we will go over to some other point which is very important for the thesis statement. It's flexibility. It should be concrete, but assure that the thesis statement is also kind of flexible, because you are doing a work in progress with your thesis. And to assure that the thesis statement suits your thesis in the best way, you should keep in mind to be flexible and adjust it or refine it if necessary. Well, now I would like to provide you with 2 little lists of what to do and what to avoid if you create your thesis statement. First, to write a good one, it's necessary to generate a narrow and a conscious statement. You should keep it broad enough to place your arguments and to keep it a little bit creative. Avoid some pre-formulated and statistic expressions, but try to say it in your own words. And well, if you want to know how to connect 2 aspects or arguments, then think about their relation and use conjunctions such as although, because, that's why, for example. Well, what should you avoid if you write a thesis statement? First, you should avoid to provide a too general idea, because a too general idea cannot be solved and argued in depth. And try also to avoid ambitious words and expressions like the main idea of my paper or my thesis is. Try to avoid being too general, because the statement also should provide your individual point of view and as such a certain subjectivity. Try to don't oversimplify concepts without being concrete and going into depth. And what I mentioned, avoid some static and borrowed formulations. Last but not least, I would like to share a little checklist with you that you can use if you write your thesis statement. So this checklist helps you to assure that your thesis statement is a strong one. I also provide this as a template that you can download and use it to check your statement. First question: did I formulate my statement specific? Also, try to answer if it attracts the point of interest and the purpose. Does it attack? And third, do I provide strong arguments and a concrete position? Did I choose a powerful argument that opposes and challenges other opinions? This is a debatable one. Is the relation between my statement, the analysis, and the arguments precisely related? And the two last questions: do I resist the so what? And do I respond on the how and why? So I hope that you enjoyed the video, that you got some interesting new inspirations. And if you like the video, then subscribe and give us a like. If you like to get more information and more inspiration, then have a look on our blog of My Thesis Academy. And I hope to see you in the next post.